Hi, I'm Mike from 1A Auto. We've been selling auto parts for over 30 years.
Hey everyone, Sue here at 1A Auto, and today we're going to be putting an exhaust system from the manifolds back on our 03 Tundra. If you need any parts for your vehicle, click on the link below and head on over to 1AAuto.com. Taking the wheel off, it's a 21mm socket. I like to loosen them up in the star pattern, even though that's how you mount them, I still take them off the same way. And make sure the weight of the vehicle's on the truck tire, and loosen up the lug nuts. We're not taking them all the way off, we're just loosening them. At home you can use a jack with jack stands. I have a 2-post lift I'll be raising my vehicle with. Now with the vehicle up in the air, it's safe for me to take the lug nuts off by hand. I'll just take them all off and then set them aside. Now with the lug nuts off, it's safe to pull the tire off. Spray all the rubber hangers so they come undone a lot easier. Less struggle. We got one at the tailpipe, 2 at the muffler. One at the mid-pipe. And then I got one more up here on the passenger side converter. All right, I'm going to start back there with the pry bar, and I'm going to pry the rubber mounts off. I'm going to use a cutting blade whizzer to cut off this banjo hanger, and I might end up cutting some of the hanger rods because it's so rusted and it's just going to crumble to pieces. So first thing I'm going to do is cut this hanger off so I can take the muffler and tailpipe out. Now with that snapped free, I can just take a pry bar and pry that hanger off. That clamp, I mean. Yeah, pretty rotted. Okay. Now the muffler is ready to come down, and I think I'm gonna just cut those hangers also. Okay, let's use a pry bar and see what we got. Okay, I'm gonna have to hold this because I think it's gonna fall right out. Yep, here she comes. I'm going to disconnect all the O2 sensors because they're going to come down with the exhaust also. We're replacing them. So there's one. On this side, let's go over to the driver's side. Find that location. There it is. There's the connector. It's right up here. Push on the tab and pull on it. Sounds a little bit easier than it is. Of course. I'm gonna have to get my small screwdriver. Yep, now I can get into that tab a lot easier. Pull that out. Here we go. Okay, the 2 front ones I'm not removing because that exhaust is, they're screwed into the manifolds, so they're staying there. So I've sprayed the manifold to front pipe, the nuts, to hopefully get these so they can break free. It's a 14mm socket. They're locking nuts, and there's 3 per side. Let's see if I can get them all break free. They've been soaking a while. So luckily all the manifold nuts to the front pipe came off and are good to reuse again. Now I'm going to take the back hanger off, hopefully with no complications. And then I'm going to take the middle one off. Or the middle one's going to come off first. All right. Now I got one up here. Watch it over there. There we go. Oh. Let's take this one. Now it's down. Now I'm going to get ready to put the driver's side converter pipe. I'm just going to spray that rubber hanger up, and then I'm going to hopefully slide this right through. Fish the passenger side converter up. Line it up with the studs, and then I'm going to take the nuts and start them. Now you're free to tighten them up with your 14mm socket. I'm going to spray all the hangers again before I put the new mid pipe with the resonator in it up. I've already got the bolts and gaskets in place. Yeah, that's a lot smoother. Let's see if the bolts fall out. Let's put this hanger in. Well, let's try this differently. I think I'm gonna put this hanger in. Might make it a little bit easier. There we go. And it did. Okay, it's Christmas. All right. Now with those in place, I'm gonna put the gasket on. I'm gonna have to slide this forward. I'm gonna take these bolts on. Slide it forward. I need a big pry bar. All right, so I'm gonna bring the pry bar up in here. Just guide it on the body. See if I can bring that over a little bit. How about if I go in here? Nice. A lot less effort on that. Just want to get one bolt lined up. As we say, good catch, Sue. Nice. Let's see if I can line this side up. There we go. You're gonna have to get all new hardware, like I did. This vehicle didn't even have any hardware. There was bolts missing and nuts. Nice. There we go. One last bolt. Okay. I have to manipulate that a little bit. See if I can get the, there we go. Once that gets tightened up, it'll straighten itself right out. Sweet. All right, now I'm gonna get my socket and wrench, tighten them up. I'm using 10 by 125 bolts. It's a metric bolt. So my sockets are 15 millimeter. Okay. All right, 2 over here. There it goes, pulls it straight in. Tighten the other side up before I... Can't wait to start this up. What a difference it's going to be. That exhaust has gone pretty good. All right. I say let's move on down to the muffler and tailpipe assembly now. All right, so I ended up taking the rubber hangers off the muffler hanger for the body, and I mounted them on the actual muffler. Because of the angle of the hooks and the tailpipe, it was impossible to bend this to get in there. So once I've taken those down, now I'm going to put it in the tailpipe hanger in the back, then I can mount these up. Okay, now I think I'm going to put the gasket on first and the clamp, and that way I can guide those easier without it falling down. All right, so now with the tailpipe hanger in, I know that it's not going to fall down on me, so I'm going to pull it back a little bit. Okay, so the gasket on this particular model has a cone shape to it, so the cone goes into the flange part. See the flare on that? It goes that way. I'm going to put this piece on the mid pipe. I'm going to lift up the exhaust. And carefully guide that on. All right, I'm going to go back here and push it back forward. Hanging on by a thread there. It's going to come forward quite a bit. Now with the exhaust together, mid-pipe and the muffler assembly, we've got the gasket in place, and I assembled one bolt side. I'm going to put the bolts facing up, and you sandwich it on there. At this point you can turn it so you can line up your lock washer and your nut, but when I tighten it, I like to leave the long part of the bolts facing up. This particular clamp is a 13 millimeter socket and wrench. There you go. So I'm just going to line it up and get my tools. Bring it on up, find the O2 sensor spot and just hand tighten it in. It's kind of a difficult, it's actually out in the open, but I think because the angle, trying to center it, there we go. I'm going to snug that up so that I can, there we go. Now I'm going to use the O2 sensor socket and ratchet. Make sure that ratchet's going the right way. That's fully from experience. Slide it on. And that O2 sensor has a crush washer, so you want to bottom it out, and then good quarter turn. You'll feel the washer give like to it. Little boop, and then it stops. Now I'm going to connect the electrical connector. Make sure that the lock is going the right way. On this, it's facing down. The tab is down, so I'll put my hand right up in there, line it up, push it on, it will click. There we go. And that one is ready to go. Now it's time to put the tire back on. This is an alloy wheel, so you have a seat on the lug nuts. And that aluminum, the metal piece, goes into the aluminum, so definitely do it by hand, guide it in, and know that it's seated. I do 2 of them, and that way when I go to lower it and tighten it, it's not off center. Now with my lug nuts hand tightened and the truck on the ground, pressure on the tire, so the truck's not fully lowered, just pressure on the tire. I'm going to torque each lug nut to 110 foot-pounds. That's the manufacturer torque specs for this vehicle. I'm going to tighten in the star pattern. Just seats on the hub properly. I like to double check one last time. And you're all set.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at oneauto.com for quality auto parts, fast and free shipping, and the best customer service in the industry.